Good morning. Jim Farr, lead pastor at Emmanuel United Methodist Church in Noblesville, coming to you with this week's Thoughts from the Far Side. I have to tell you, one of the great pleasures of being a pastor when you're at a church for a short period of time is you begin to look around and see, okay, what does the future for this church look like? And we began to do that here, and we decided it was important to form up a dream team to dream about a new future, a preferable future, God's future for the church, and to see what that might look like. And we began to talk and to discuss, and our goal is to come up with a set of core values that the church will work from in moving forward, and to see what vision and mission then that leads us into as a congregation here. And so it's an exciting time. It's also a scary time, because I'm sure someone out there is saying, but don't we have a vision and a mission and core values? And the answer to all of those questions is yes. But times are changing. You may have noticed that. I kind of like to give this analogy. In fact, one of my parishioners said to me just last week I should write a book, and using this as a major part of the book, I'm not sure I'm sharp enough to write a book. But I said this: things are changing so rapidly, but it's not just rapid change, but it's changed into the ways we've never done things before. And man, is that challenging. And I related it to this. Most of us that I'm going to be talking to today, and especially many of us still, we grew up in communities and towns where traffic flow was determined by red lights and green lights, stop signs and four-way stops and yields. And that's the way the church grew up. We knew when to stop and when to go, and the directions were so clear and so easy, everyone could follow them. We had a little confusion several years back when they introduced you can turn right on a red light, but we made it through that without too much trouble. But today, what's happening in the church and the world around us is we're encountering roundabouts. And I'm telling you, for many, many people, roundabouts are confusing. I did not know how confusing they were for some people until I moved to Noblesville. And now I come behind people who come to a complete stop when nobody in the world is coming. I have people that almost run out in front of people, not understanding the concept. And my favorite one happened just a few weeks ago on my way to church. It's hard to explain exactly, but there's a roundabout at 10th Street and Greenfield in Noblesville. And as you come down from the east, if you look to the left, the south, as you come up 10th Street, it's actually, they make it a one-way lane to get into the roundabout. That's the only way you can go. Well, I was coming down from the north, and I saw someone stopped coming from the east. And before I could get to the intersection, they turned left in the roundabout and went down the one-way street onto 10th Street. Sometimes I think that's what we do when we're confronting these issues with the church. We want to go backwards is what we really want to do. We want to say, why isn't there a four-way stop here? Why isn't there a stoplight here? And so we get so confused we don't know, might I say, which way to turn. That may be a bad pun, but it's true. And I think it's what the church is facing right now. We need a new set of core values, a new vision that God's going to give us to what the church should be in the coming years. And so we're working to do that right now, and I wanted to share that with you. And it was an exciting night last night. We have such a great mix of people on this group, and the interchange, the discussion, the pushback, the tugs, the pulls were so fantastic. And I'm not going to give you all of our core values today. We're going to fine-tune some things. We're going to present that to the governing council in August for a launch this fall. But one of my most exciting ones, and I just loved it, and one of the core values we want to adopt as a church is the core value of passionate participation. I'm not big on alliterations normally, but I kind of like that saying because we need people to be involved in every ministry and mission of the church, and not just to be involved because they think they ought to or have to, but because they passionately love God and passionately want to do the work of the church. So passionate participation is going to be a hallmark of this church, we believe, going forward into the next decade. and we hope you'll embrace that one and adopt it. I'm going to talk a lot more about this process, where we're headed, what vision we believe God is giving us. But for now, I just want to whet our appetites and to say exciting things are happening. And it may be scary because you're not sure what to do about that roundabout. But remember, the difference is that when it comes to that roundabout, the city of Noblesville is in charge. When it comes to the future of the church, God is in charge, and we're all grateful for that.